Hi guys, so we're carrying on with biodiversity and interdependence, and this lesson is going to focus on competition. Now, as always, we're going to start with our Do Now Connect activity. So for this one, I'd like you to think about what makes an organism a successful competitor. Just want you to write down any ideas you've got to answer that question. To give you a helping hand, I've given you two photos of animals that often come up when we're talking about competition and adaptation. Now, for some of you, that will be easy peasy. So there's also an extension for you to do where I want you to start adding in how you think these organisms in those pictures are adapted to their environment. As I said, this lesson is all about competition. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain how organisms within ecosystems interact. Now, I've given you the success criteria again and a list of key vocabulary to help you with the lesson. And at the bottom of this slide, you'll find the revision guide pages that link to this lesson. So first things first, it's really important that we understand what we mean by competition. Normally I'd get you to write down a definition on a post-it note, stick it on the wall, and then we'd form a detailed definition together. But obviously we can't do that at the minute. So what I'd like you to do is try and write your own definition of what you think competition means. Be as detailed as you can. Go back and look at some of that key vocabulary if you need to, and make sure you use scientific terms in your definition where you can. And here's my definition of competition. So I've said that animals and plants have to compete for limited resources, and the best adapted animals or plants will win and survive. Can you just check that definition against yours? Make any changes you need to your own definition. Add mine if you think that would be more helpful, but make sure you've got a well-written, detailed definition of competition. Now we're clear on what competition means, we need to start thinking about what animals might be competing for. What I'd like you to do is create some kind of mind map to list all the different sorts of things that animals might be competing for in their environment. So now we're going to watch 3 different video clips. For each one, you're going to need to fill in the table with the resource, how you think the predators and prey are competing, and what adaptations they have to help them to do this. These are the links for the video clips that we've just talked about. So you need to watch one for each of the 3 categories: food, predators and mates. You'll see that there are 2 different videos for predators. You can watch either one or both of them, whichever you'd prefer to do, but make sure you're filling in that table with the information that you get from the video. So next we're going to apply what we've learned so far then. What I've got on the screen for you now is 4 different things that we might compete for and 4 examples of how animals are adapted to compete for these things. I need you to match them up, please. Next we're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time we are doing it for plants. So the 4 things listed are going to be things that plants compete for and examples of plants and how they're adapted to compete for them. Finally, you need to complete your securing learning task. So this task is related to the 4 pictures on the slide. What I'd like you to do is for each picture, tell me what you think the animals are competing for and why. Then I'd like you to explain what you think would happen if they lose